Are you a professional pillow fighter? Or a 9-to-5 low-cost time travel agent? Or maybe real estate sales on Mars is your profession? It doesn't matter. Whatever it is you do, however complex or intricate, Monday.com can help you organize, orchestrate, and make it more efficient. Monday.com is the one centralized platform for everything work-related. And with Monday.com, work is just easier. Monday.com, for whatever you run. Go to Monday.com to learn more.
Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer, so let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
Hey now, I'm excited about today's show. Welcome to Kill Me Now. I am the only host. Thank you. Keith, wait, before we introduce you.
So you don't want to hear about my callback? Okay,
I don't know what's recorded and what's not, so if that makes sense or not.
It's recording. Welcome to Kill Me Now. I'm Judy Gold, your host. Keith Malley is our host, that was a Freudian slip, is our guest today.
Thanks for coming here, Judy.
Yeah, thank you. And someone else is here who's really annoying, and also Patrick is here. So, you are caught us in the middle of this conversation. Number one, I just want to say that I was sitting down on the train, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this older gentleman comes in.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I just
no
beat
teeth.
Pac-Man.
No teeth. What the fuck was that? Your phone?
That was my text. Yeah, it's Mario coin.
Okay, so he comes in, right? I'm sitting down. You know, I have a really bad knee. I mean, it's obvious I limp and stuff like that. Especially in this goddamn weather with the rain. Anyway, so...
Oh, you know what? By the way, I understand you don't have your Jewish bell.
Yes, I do.
And do you?
Yeah, I brought it.
Okay.
Why?
I thought you lost it.
Because I thought you lost it, so I got you.
Oh,
one.
the bell. I don't have the bell. I only have a whistle.
Now let's give it a chance. Ready? Let's try it out right now.
I love you.
So the other day, I was going down the street and I made a Jew.
Nice.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I like the tone on it.
Well, it just made sense.
It leaves a nice bing.
So I'm sitting there, right? And, you know, there's like a young guy next to me. There's all these, you know, young people. So I see the guy with no teeth. You know, you check the shoes for homelessness. Good shoes.
It's true because you can't tell by the clothes in New York.
Right. So, and I just see, I'm reading, but I see a cane. And I'm like, I really don't want to get up because my knee hurts and no one else is. So I just look up and I say, would you like to sit? And he says, no.
Well, fuck him!
I mean, just fucking say thank you. Say fucking thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Keith.
There you go. You want him to
thank
go.
you.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I just want thank you. I just want to say no, thank you very much, or thank you.
How did he say no again? Because the no didn't sound so bad the way you said it.
No, it was bad. He barely made eye contact. He didn't have teeth, and it, you know.
I didn't know the teeth part.
Yeah, no, it was like nah.
So this was a homeless person or just an older person?
I couldn't. Well, cane, good sneakers and jeans. The jeans were good and the sneakers were good. I don't know. I don't think he was home. I mean, he definitely didn't have dental insurance.
So he was a New Yorker.
I don't know.
Just a crotchety New York. No.
Old.
Yeah.
But just say, no, thank you.
How'd that
like,
make
no
you
one else is fucking giving you their seat. I see a cane. I'm like...
Did that hurt your feelings?
No, it makes me angry that
Maybe
people have no manners.
He's telling a story right now knowing that you were bluffing. You were hoping he wouldn't take you on that because he saw your wonky knee.
No. I was already sitting.
All right.
And I noticed, like, gay guy next to me was purposely... You know, not looking up. Yeah. Because when I sat down, and you know, I do a little. When I sit on the subway, I do a little
a dance.
Well, I have to hold. You know, I have to do this thing so it doesn't hurt my knee.
Okay.
But he never looked up, which kind of makes my ass go shift and then back. You know what I mean? So the ass could hit you on the way down, but I'll move it over.
Right.
And nothing. And you know a gay guy would see me and be like, oh my God. So.
Well, that's what you have to do next time. You can't look at people.
That's my kill me now. No, it's just like I try to be nice. No fucking men ever get up for women.
No. What are we going to do? We'd be getting up all day. You're everywhere.
Okay, you came out of a fucking twat, okay? And, you know, men should get up for pregnancy. You couldn't fucking deal with the pregnancy. Forget it. Anyway.
That's why we don't do it. We know what we can handle and what we can't.
You're full of shit. Anyway, Hennessy just said to me, I have a call back. And I have mentioned, do you go on auditions?
No, but I still got a call back. This one's an easy one.
And I believe you should not talk about your work until you have signed, sealed, and delivered that fucking contract.
So she asked me how I was doing, how was my weekend. I said, I got a call back. And she asked me what it was for.
Who did?
You did. I'm just telling the audience.
No,
Judy asked me, oh, for what? And I said, wait a minute now. You've told me that I can't go into detail about this. I remembered this.
Right.
So do I tell you what it is for?
Right. Before
I go? Or do I, because it's you and me. And I think you were talking generally more about, don't, blast. Because once I posted once on Facebook that, I got a call back for this thing. And Judy was like, no, never do that because then everyone's going to ask you about it. And it's like a big to-do.
And then
it becomes not about the thing.
Right.
Right.
It's about like, hey, look at me. I'm great. I'm talented. I got validated.
Well, yeah. And that's exactly what I was doing because I'm really afraid to promote myself like that. Right. So for me, it was an exercise.
But the validation will not go away if Hennessy doesn't get this because nobody's really listening.
That's true.
That's the. But it's like you're searching instead of the time you could be studying or you're going. Hey, look, You
could have taken that 5 seconds and looked over the roll again.
Well, it wasn't coming from that place.
But he's whatever is gonna check it. You're gonna check your fucking face. Oh yeah, this one said. I'm sorry.
No, I won't.
Okay, whatever. Won't. You got to get rid of that white eyebrow hair because it's fucking driving me crazy.
You don't like it?
No.
I'm becoming a silver fox.
Okay. Anyway, Keith Malley is here. Keith Malley, in case you don't know who he is.
I brought your present.
What is it?
I didn't know. Do I give you coffee or tequila? Wow. And I figured the coffee you like.
Yeah, bitches! Thank you very much. Yeah, tequila. Yeah. Thank you.
A bell.
Where did this bell come from?
It's your old bell. I found it on the floor.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
Here.
Okay. What did I fucking tell you? You told me I stole the bell. Okay. Anyway, Keith Malley.
It's your bell. How could you steal it? I thought maybe you took it home.
Keith Malley is the co-host of co-host, whatever.
Co-host. There's two hosts.
I'm good with either.
Yeah.
Okay. Of Keith and the Girl, which is pretty much the original podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
I say pretty much because so many people think that they were the original.
They know better.
I feel like I'm not gonna get a word in edgewise. But there are a lot of people who claim to be, I created this genre, genre. When in fact, you guys started before there was even a word called podcast.
There wasn't even a category on the iPod.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's start with the beginning of your life in Somerset, Pennsylvania.
Okay. I invented the digital.
Right.
And my dad was a Catholic priest.
No, I know. Your father was a Catholic priest. He taught science.
No, wouldn't that be something? No.
Oh, thanks. Look at this interview. This interview I read. Ready?
Okay.
Here we go. I just want to read this to you.
Oh, he did teach. Maybe he did teach science in like elementary school, right? Something like that. The church elementary school.
Wait, yes, at the church. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. Taught science at the Catholic high school.
Yes.
Oh, so science in quotations.
So, and first of all, do they have science at a Catholic high school?
I guess they do. He taught my older brother. He stopped teaching by the time it was my turn, so I'm not really sure
they're into creationism, aren't they? They don't believe in
they believe in
evolution.
Science enough, but yes, they could believe in both. They could believe there was people led up to Adam and Eve, and Adam and Eve, animals led up to Adam and Eve, and Adam and Eve was first.
All right, so they're into the evolution, but it ends at Adam and Eve.
Right, and the science would be, why do we have rain?
Okay, so you're born, there's, 5 kids in the family, you're number 2.
Yes. Which
is a weird position.
Wouldn't it all be weird? Isn't there, a stigma attached to anything? You didn't get enough attention because you're this when you were overly coddled.
You have the 1, the 3, and the 5 are the... If you have 5 kids, 1, 3, and 5 are taken care of in the psychiatric books, because one's the...
In the good way or bad way?
Well, the oldest, the middle, and the youngest. And then 2 and 4 are like, kind of the middle, but I'm not really the middle.
Yeah, I guess I didn't feel that way. I know my brother got more things, and then I got the hand-me-downs. Yeah. Yes. He got the good trumpet.
Right. Oh, you played trumpet? Mm-hmm. Do you still play?
No, but I bet I could. I was good at that stupid
I was good
thing.
at my clarinet.
Do you play it?
Well, I played it in Shakespeare in the Park last summer.
Okay.
And the other musicians were like, your tone on the clarinet, I hear professionals who don't have as good a tone. So I did have a thing for it.
Okay.
And it makes me want to play more, Keith.
Really? See, I only took it because my brother took it.
Right.
Band, and I hated it. And when
you did?
Yeah, and marching band was even the worst.
I was in marching band.
Changing your clothes on the bus was stupid.
God. And what about the fucking, you're marching in the fucking, like, freezing fucking mud shit with the, make a left here and lift your, fuck you.
And we're all nerdy, so we're not into those football games. We got to play for these guys.
How about the fucking shitty hot chocolate? I can still taste that shitty hot chocolate out of that big brown thing.
I remember we were watching a football game, and we're all making jokes. We're not really watching it. And all of a sudden, everybody in the band turns to me and goes, Keith, shh. And I look out, and it's because somebody got hurt on the field, and we're all supposed to be quiet. I'm like, oh, yeah, definitely. Let's make sure Chad's okay, so that tomorrow he can put our head in the toilet.
Right.
Shh, everybody quiet.
Right.
Chad's hurt.
So you come from a pretty fucked up family, it seems. Now, which is common for anyone in this industry.
Sure.
So there's 5 kids. You're number 2. Your father's a Catholic priest who meets your mother while he's blessing her parents' house.
He's blessing his mom's house.
Okay. So, your mother's house, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So assuming it's not a euphemism.
Your mother? Yeah, how old's your mother at this point?
I'm bad at that stuff. 20s, I suppose.
Okay, so she's an adult.
Yes.
Because you know the priest.
Probably younger than that.
So he comes
maybe
over.
19, 20, maybe. But I know he's about 8 years older, and so and he couldn't have been that old.
Okay, so he's coming there. Does your mother have any siblings?
Yes, but they weren't there. I think my mom's the youngest.
Okay, so your mother's at the house. Now, what does a Catholic priest do? Like, is that what happens? You move, or what happens?
Whenever you get a house, they come in, they spray some water around, little hocus pocus.
They do the what's it? The mum and sense and the...
They do the
frankincense and myrrh.
Yeah, frankincense and myrrh.
They probably wave the smoke around.
Yeah.
And then they go, ooh, you're hot.
Hey now! So he comes in, sees your mother.
Likes what he sees. Supposedly it's the old, the hearts in the movies.
Right.
And then
but he's married to God.
Right, but God doesn't show up a lot. He's late to stuff. And so he starts really thinking about my mom. And he would see her in the church. And
they were religious.
Yes. The family
obviously, if they have the fucking priest come over to... Yeah, go ahead.
Well, was he doing the sermons?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and he would definitely be doing the little communion thing to this person he's in love with. So he's a young
priest. Yes. He's like that Pope, the young Pope thing. So
just
he's
like
a young
him,
priest.
I'm sure. I don't see it, but I'm
because he's like 27, right?
Right.
Okay, and
then he starts thinking about, I know I am married to God. All these feelings I have, and he would tell these stories that he's so dramatic. He's like, you know what? I thought about joining the military, and then I would be a priest overseas, and then hopefully I would die and not have to worry about this conundrum.
Wait, because he was sexually attracted to women.
Yes.
Unlike other priests.
Right.
And he didn't know how to deal with that normal thing that, where you're actually normal.
Right. And supposedly he was even more on top of that because this is love. He was in love.
That's so funny. Yeah. Go on. I'm sorry. You're probably going to say the same thing.
So
You write it down what she's going to say. And
why
then
did
we'll
he become a priest? Like, what made him become a priest?
I think...
Was he from a religious family?
Yeah, he definitely was. I don't know much about my grandparents. They all passed. But yeah, I just know it's a religious thing, and it's the calling, and the calling's the calling.
Because John Fugelsang's father was a priest and mother was a nun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fucked.
Yeah.
And he's so pretty well adjusted.
He's well adjusted, but he's still, he believes in the Bible and all this.
Do you believe in any of it?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't. But John's funny because, he'll try to say, like, no, this isn't what they meant about hating homosexuals. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You don't have to defend it. It's pretty clear what it fucking says. It says rocks to the head. Rocks isn't a euphemism.
Right. Okay, so any gays of the 5 kids?
Yeah, I have my brother Mark is gay and still goes to church, and it sickens me. And I'm like,
no, he's not gay.
Look, if you're not going
to church,
I got a feeling he's gay, and he does go to church.
Does he have a boyfriend?
Yeah, they live together.
And does the boyfriend go to church?
No.
Because as far as gay marriage is concerned, the Catholic Church is up there with being very progressive on that one topic.
I don't like that everybody's liking this new pope and that silliness. Like, who am I to judge? You're the fucking pope, and God talks directly to you. Who are you to judge?
Right.
You're not changing what's in the Bible. You're not changing these rules. It's kind of a trick.
Right,
he also hid child molestation charges and still does to this day.
Okay, so shut up, VP. So here's the thing, though. He is the most human of the popes as far as being a human being instead of...
He speaks better English.
Okay. So how old were you when you found out that your father had previously been a priest? Or was it just like...
Oh, he was clear about it. He loved us knowing.
Okay. So...
And would always correct us. Once a priest, always a priest.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So your mom was a housewife, like a homemaker.
Yes.
Was she a good homemaker?
As far as I know, we had our food. We had our clothes. I mean, I wouldn't know.
Can you fucking imagine doing that job for 5 kids?
I would not. Well, a lot of hand-me-downs. But
I mean...
Of course. Honest to God, it's the toughest job being a mother, isn't it?
It is. Fuck you, Keith. Do you know fucking how hard it is, you motherfucker? All right, so...
It must be hard. You were 40 minutes late. Does nobody ever tell her? Nobody tells her?
No,
well, how's she going to learn if nobody tells her?
I have been on time,
How dare you speak to my boss lady that way?
First of all, Hennessy lies a lot about what time we're starting, so I always think it's a half an hour after whatever he says.
Right.
But I had to go to this fucking brunch because Elisa's family had a bar mitzvah this weekend, and her aunt and uncle were in, and I had to go and then I had to go pick up the car to go get their whatever. It doesn't fucking matter.
No,
anyway,
it's mother stuff. It's good to know. Yeah.
So.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
Okay, so you're in school. You're not rich. How did your father?
Well, you're not rich. I'm sorry, just being defensive.
I'm not rich. No, I'm not. No, I mean, you don't come from like a lot of money. So,
we'd go to school. We'd wear, these the cheap moon boots that cost like $1, and plastic bags inside from bread bags,
right?
That kind of thing. I'm sure my mom would reuse foil for the grill,
right? Was it that town?
You know what? There was both sides. There was poor like I was, and then there was oddly a mansion or two.
Right.
Yeah.
Were there any Jews in your town?
No.
Were there any Amish?
But it was a very tiny town.
It was a tiny town.
Like how many people?
I'm bad at that. I don't know. 7.
Like, how many people were in your high school graduating class?
I don't know that either. 30 people in a class. Let's say 6 classes.
Oh,
that's a lot.
5 classes.
Okay. So
150.
Maybe.
Okay. So your mother did do like little jobs here and there. And your father, all right, from what I've read about you, it seems like your father was more concerned about what everyone else thought of him than being a good, father, husband.
Yeah, he definitely cared what other people thought about him, for sure.
So he leaves the priesthood.
he left. He got permission from the Pope to get married.
Wait, he called the Pope? Which Pope?
The Pope's people, but he
Right.
did have to go to Rome.
He did?
Yeah.
Did your mother go with him?
No.
Do you think they had premarital sex?
Yeah, I found that they did. We were cleaning the attic or something, and something didn't match up with when he was married and when my brother was born.
Oh my God, that's disgusting. Your
Yeah.
mother's a slut. Go ahead. All right, so
So he gets permission from the Pope to get married. He can't be a priest anymore, or you're still a priest, but he can't perform any service.
blowjobs on
And
young boys.
he can't.
Right.
That's illegal now.
Oh.
For him to do that because he's
Right.
not a priest. And
Right. You have to have the priest certificate to
Right.
molest, young boys. Okay.
And then he started, and that's it. And then they got married and had more kids.
Right.
And there we are. And then what also the gay
go ahead.
the gay brother
Yeah.
that goes to church.
Is he the youngest?
No, he's the next to the youngest.
Okay.
Also, a Trump supporter. And and I know you have members like this
you
in your
fucking-
family. It drives me crazy. Like, and I was talking to another brother of mine who didn't vote, but says if he did, he probably would have voted for Trump. And he's saying, and I said how I was protesting at the JFK, the Muslim ban. And then he said, well,
Why?
what good? Right. That's what he said. Why? What good did protest ever do? And I'm like, how are you my fucking brother? Everything
Right.
good we have, you moron. And then he said, well, aren't they just, I think Trump's just sending back the criminals that come over on the planes. And that's the end of the conversation. But I'm like, how do we have the same fucking blood?
Right. It's very, I know. I know. I have it in my family.
Are they still? Is he still in Somerset? Just curious.
No.
I see. Okay.
No, but he
anyone
is a
still-
priest. But he is going to be a priest. He's about to graduate anytime now.
Which one? The
My
gay
youngest,
one?
my youngest brother, not the gay one.
Who's also probably
Yeah.
gay.
But what bothers me is the gay one. That would make more sense. The gay one is so with what I just said about Trump, and he's so smart, meaning he puts solar panels on his own house. He does the underground heating himself in his own house. He's a computer genius where he literally builds a computer from
Right,
scratch.
but that doesn't mean you're emotionally
I get it,
intelligent.
but that's weird.
But it's also like
Brainwash.
I feel like people who are that obsessed with I have to be Catholic and this are people who don't want to think for themselves.
Right.
They are people who want people to tell them what to think so they don't have to think. I mean, he's great at fixing things because it's all mathematical and there's no emotional element to
Right.
it. But yeah, they want to be told, okay, this is what I do, this is who I vote for, this is,
Yeah, I think you're right, because when I bring up, you have these religious people that can believe in Adam and Eve
Right.
and creationism a little bit. They make it make sense.
Right.
Like, okay, you had your snakes and your monkeys, but then you had Adam and Eve,
Right.
and civilization really started from there.
Right.
Just give me both, and then I
Right.
don't have to think too much.
So, your father, who I'm fascinated with,
Right. Everybody says that.
really?
Yeah, I'd like to meet your dad. I'm like, good.
I didn't
good
say I
luck.
wanted
I'm
to
not
meet
bringing
him.
you there.
All
Okay.
right. So he leaves the Catholic Church, and then what does he do? Like he wanted to be a magician, but he wouldn't call himself a magician.
He started being a magician. He would prefer the word illusionist.
Illusionist, right? Because of the Catholic thing.
And then supposedly the reason he quit, and he would do like cruise ships and this kind
Right.
of thing. The reason he quit is because he says he was being perceived as a god. His magic was so good that people thought it was real magic, and he knew that wasn't morally right. Meanwhile, he just wasn't making the money.
Okay, so how similar to Donald Trump do you think your father is?
And I don't know. Does Donald Trump know when he gives a non-answer? Does he know he's giving a non-answer?
Yeah.
My dad doesn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Donald Trump's an evil,
Right.
conniving. Okay, so
That was
your
really
father
good.
would,
Like if my dad said, "Oh, I heard that," he really would have heard that.
right?
Yeah.
Donald Trump is making up that he heard that.
So he's not making it as a magician,
Right.
illusionist.
Right.
So what
because
is
magicians are evil.
No, how dumb are you?
Well, I'm asking
Seriously.
also for the audience.
No, because then he's not human. He's magical. Like, he has the same powers as God, but no one has the same powers as God.
I didn't know magicians claimed that.
That's what he thought he was. Like, people were believing, oh my God, it's magic, and he's like, well, no, it's not magic. It's not coming from this higher power.
It's almost like they're calling him a sorcerer. And he's like, no, it's illusions. Mm-hmm. But you also had to respect how good it was, because you couldn't say it was tricks.
Right.
You had to say it was illusions.
Right. So
kids do tricks.
I understand.
Okay, so what does he end up doing when he's not making it as an? And how old were you when he was magician illusionist?
I don't.
Do you remember him being magician illusionist?
I don't really remember it. I remember he was on local TV once, so we got up early in the morning, like 6 a.m. to watch.
Right.
So something definitely was going on. I don't really remember it. I do know I was an adult, and I went with him to some kind of magician's retreat, and for a couple hours, everybody got together showing the tricks, and I'm like, oh, let's see what my dad did.
It was?
It was the worst.
Oh, that's so sad.
It was.
Did you have like a pit in your stomach?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. God. And I did something stupid. Like, I took, I bought 2 copies of the newspaper, and I took the front cover of the newspaper. I'm like, here's the newspaper, and I ripped it up and I put it in one pocket, and then I go, ta-da! And then in my other pocket, I take out the newspapers all back together. So obviously it's goofy, but I'm like, that was honestly better. Whatever you
what was
just
his
did. I don't remember something with if I did it, you'd be like, oh, that one, but I don't even remember. I think I'm blocking it out of my mind.
Whoa. Like, pick a card.
God.
It's like, see the quarter, see the dime, where's the penny? That was in the beginning. Like,
so you were like humiliated for him.
I was sad for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So how did he make a living?
I don't know, like, barely scraped by. My mom had to start working.
Okay.
For sure.
You had very odd rules in your home.
My dad, for being, I don't know if this added to being a comedian, we couldn't laugh in the house.
Right. So what is that? You couldn't laugh at the dinner table. You couldn't laugh.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
You couldn't giggle. You couldn't watch TV and there was a funny thing and laugh.
It couldn't be too funny. Like, maybe I'd laugh and be like, son, it's not that funny.
No way.
Or yeah, and I think if I'm playing with my siblings and we're laughing, then maybe it's at his expense, he would think. But you just couldn't.
So he was paranoid.
He was paranoid, and then if you're loud inside, you had to go outside. Then we'd be outside, and we're kids, and we're laughing, and then the new rule was, if you're loud outside, shut up. And it was about how
don't
people
laugh ever.
Right. It was about how people perceived him, because I found out later he thought sound travels, and I'm from the country, and even though the next neighbor is half a mile away, they're gonna what? They're gonna hear kids are having fun over there,
right?
So he was. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't. He'd be perceived as not the perfect father. You had kids running around those acres that you bought.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
Ugh, that is so fucking mental. Now, how do you think the not laughing affected your sibling? Like, we could see that it affected you by you saying, "I'm gonna make people laugh."
Maybe, right?
Well, how do you think it affected your siblings?
Well, let's see. One's a priest. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of laughing, probably.
Right.
I don't know. What was good is that there were so many of us kids, and so all the brothers, 4 of us, are in one room, and then we can talk almost like we were at war. At the end of the day, you're laughing about how stupid this day was.
Right. And what about your poor sister?
She got a room by herself, so I can't feel so bad. Right. But I would have to imagine it was tough.
What does she do now?
What does she do now? I don't know what anybody does now. She you know what? She does like a nonprofit thing.
Is she normal?
She's very normal.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you weren't allowed to laugh, which is fucking mental.
Right. Neither was my co-host Hemda. She would get in trouble from her dad for laugh. Who's going to marry you with a laugh like that? The mom and dad would say.
No way.
Yeah.
Kill Me Now, episode 3. Also, my wife Hemda.
See. I just put that together now.
Go back and listen to episode 3. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yes. I didn't know what you were fucking talking about. Okay, anyway.
Oh, my show, right.
So, punishments in the house.
Yes.
Shoveling big holes in the yard that had to be exact dimensions, and you weren't allowed to use a measuring stick?
I had to, if I got in trouble for something, and I was such...
Oh, shit. He was a scientist.
Right. I was such a little... I was raised like a veal. Nothing... I wasn't doing anything that would really get me in trouble. But let's say I did...
Were you a good student?
When I would try.
Right.
But I didn't try often.
Right.
Any kind of punishment I would get, but I wouldn't sneak out of the house. Hearing people did that is crazy to me.
Right.
There's no we didn't have booze there, but I was never at a friend's house sneaking the liquor cabinet. But anyway, if I did get in trouble for something, I had to go outside, take a shovel, dig a hole 3 feet by 3 feet, around and 3 feet deep. But I couldn't measure it. And then he would come out, and if it wasn't right, I had to do it again. So our home started looking like a golf course.
Are you fucking kidding me? What was the why the holes in the ground?
I don't know. I don't know where he saw that from. He had to see it from somewhere. I don't know if it's in the... I never saw that movie Holes, but...
he created
that. Solomon had to do it. I don't know.
That is fucking psychotic.
Yeah.
Do you think your father has mental illness?
Sure.
Okay. So he would then go to he'd go to the school, right?
My dad would go to school
and check up on and say, I'm checking up on the kids. But then...
Yeah. He would sneak it. He would come into school, and I'm
was
just
he wearing his collar or anything?
No, because he wasn't allowed to anymore.
Right.
He just carries.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
But he would look into the classroom. He would just look, see if I'm there. And again, there's never any reason you would do this. I was
like
a
my mother
kid.
was. I lived 5 doors away, houses away from my grammar school.
Right.
K through 5 or 6, K through 8 actually. And my mother, if there was bad weather, first person on the loudspeaker, Judith Gold, please come. Your mother's here to pick you. I'm like, I can see my fucking house. Judith Gold, please come to the front office. Your mother's here to blah, blah, blah. But she never came in and was looking to see,
Oh, he'd look to see. He'd be talking to my teachers before and after as I'm, coming into the... All the kids knew my dad. And of course it was embarrassing.
And they probably... Did they like him?
No, nobody's really talking to him. It's just weird. Why is your dad so weird? Why is your dad here again? This is weird.
Yeah.
That's so controlling.
Yeah.
And
because he also
taking the focus off of you and putting it on him.
Well, it's also taking the focus off of whatever job he has not working out. It later became insurance, but this is what he has to do now. Instead of busting his ass.
That's where he gets his power, and
yes.
his ego is filled with him.
And he also has an excuse,
it makes him feel like he's being important.
Well, honey, here's why I didn't bring in money to the house. I got to watch over our kids and see what they're doing in school. And it turns out they're still
what is your mother doing to make money?
She managed a clothing store.
They had a clothing store in Somerset, Pennsylvania.
We had we were right off the turnpike, so we had some nice stuff. So yeah, like a higher end clothing store she would do.
That's nice.
She managed a hair salon. She used to be when she was younger, did hair, that kind of thing.
Okay. Did she cut your hair?
Yes.
Everyone's?
I had a perm once. Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
I got to see a photo of that. Okay. So he would lie about you guys misbehaving so he wouldn't have to do and then make you do the shit that he was supposed to do.
Yes. I don't know what made up thing we know what we did and didn't do. What made up thing we were in trouble for, and then we'd have to literally paint the house. And it's I think Mom wanted you to paint the house. And obviously I live here, I should paint the house with you. But you made up I just got in trouble and I have to paint the whole house.
And no one said, Dad, you're a fucking liar.
No, we wouldn't have the balls. Whoa. We wouldn't know what the punishment would be, but we wouldn't have the balls.
See, that's the difference in the Jew family. You would say you're lying. You would challenge. Thank you. Very Keith did that. I think you would say that. I think I would say.
I mean, this is a very particular.
Not until I was 18, I would say what
type of mental.
Did you ever say, Dad, I'm on to you. You're fucking full of shit.
But Judy, you were raised around a lot of other people. Friends were also your family. You had other, family members around. You went to school. I mean, he was in the middle of nowhere, so his dad got to seclude them and kind of shut them off.
Mental. Yeah, but he shunned his responsibility as far as picking you up at school or
Yeah, for him showing up at school all the time. He And I mean all the time. When I was going back to when I was in band, and you know, you go on these trips, you come back, it's whatever at night, 11, 12 maybe, and all the parents are there to take their kids home. And my dad would take hours to pick me up. And I'm just
way.
Yeah, and I'm just stuck there.
Did any of the parents say, Keith, why don't you come with us?
I would have been too embarrassed to ask for a ride. And then let's say 20 minutes later, my music teacher comes out. And he'd be like, "Oh, your parents aren't here yet?" I'm like, "No, they're not here yet, but I'm fine. You know, I'm at least 16. You know, go home. I'm good." He's like, "Legally, I can't go home. I'll wait."
Right.
And then 5 more minutes goes by. He goes, "So you're good, right? Okay."
No.
And then he leaves. And then I just go back into the school. I know what doors open. Maybe I'll look through kids' lockers, bored, and just kill time.
What is wrong? And did you ever say, "Dad, you're late"? Like when you got in the car?
No, but if I am gallivanting around the school and then he happens to be there and
he's like, "I waited for you."
Yeah. And I'm a minute late. This is why I don't like to come here.
What a fucking... He's like manipulating your brain.
Right.
Yeah.
What a fuck. I want to kill him. Okay, so you graduate high school.
Yes, I did.
And you go to the Army.
Yeah.
Is that immediate?
It's about a year later.
Okay. What'd you do for the year?
Waiter.
The gap year, as they call it.
Wait, a waiter to find myself, you know.
Right. You still lived at home?
No, I moved out at 18.
You did?
Well, I was kicked out at 18.
Why?
I don't know. Well, at that point, about 18.
This is so not Jewish.
Is when I would say, like, you know, what are you doing? Why? Okay, yes, I'll build this deck, but you know, just tell me to build it. Why are you being weird? Or I think you're picking on my brother too much, so I would jump in. So it's weird that I had
you were
balls.
the mouth.
Yes, at that point. And then he kicked me out.
Malley the mouth.
And he said, you know what? Get your stuff together. On July 4th, you have to leave the house.
Oh, my God.
And then I go, July 4th, Independence Day? And he goes, oh, isn't that fitting?
No way.
You know, he thought about it the night before. He came to it. He's like, July 4th, Independence Day. He was all excited. He's very dramatic. He has his calendar book, and it's just so, and it doesn't matter if it's empty, but what it's filled with is quotes that keep him going, you know, like.
Well, did your older brother get kicked out?
Yeah, me and him moved out together, so I don't think he had to.
Who kicks their kid out like that? Like he was.
Did they kick the gay one out?
He would have been too young.
Oh,
I'm not there at the gay yet.
Sorry.
So he literally just matter-of-factly said, you have to be out of here July 4th.
Yes.
Like, Keith, what's your brother's name?
Mike.
Keith, Mike, come here. I need you guys out of the house July 4th.
Well, he was kicking me out, and then my older brother, who's 4 years older, he should have been out already, he moved out too.
What a fuck. Okay, so then you work in a restaurant.
Yes.
What kind of restaurant?
All kinds. Ones where literally no customers.
Okay, that's good. So you made no money. And then you enlisted in the Army.
And then, and then I joined the Army. I know I was driving home one time, and I didn't have insurance. I was driving my, but you can just buy a car, you know, $200 I bought a car. And it was...
What kind?
It was a Cadillac DeVille.
Nice.
Wow.
Rusted and shitty, but yeah. And it's... rear-wheel drive, and I slid on ice, and I crashed into this wooden fence to a place that sold RVs, and the wood from the fence goes through the windshield. I'm driving, of course, to the left side of my head, and instead of thinking, I almost died, I'm just like, I don't have insurance. So I get out and I'm pulling this 2x4 out of the window slowly, thinking like, well, the glass is obviously broken. I get back in the car and I start to try to drive away, and this guy goes, hey! I'm like, oh fuck. He's like, you okay? I'm like, oh, all right. Yeah, I'm good. Okay. He goes, why don't you come inside for a minute? And of course he's the owner. I'm like, oh yeah, I was just gonna pull it around back. Anyways. And then,
so what happened? Did you get hurt?
I get no, it was okay, but I didn't have insurance, and then that was going to be trouble. And then I'm like, it seems like I don't have any money. The easiest way to get out of this is to work it off at his place, ask for some kind of forgiveness, and join the military. And so that's
did you
what happened.
work at his place?
Yeah, for a little bit, I was scrubbing down his RVs
just to make up for the.
Yeah, because
was he nice to you?
No, he's
what a fucking asshole. You must hate men. I mean, I would fucking hate men if I were you.
I mean,
And I'm a lesbian. I don't hate men.
Right. But I get I'm supposed to drive with insurance. But
Right.
no, I'm scrubbing the bottom of these RVs, and it's never good enough. And I'm like, I know it's done.
Right.
I know it is. I see it.
Right. All right. So you join the Army.
Yes.
And where do you go? Where are you stationed?
I was stationed in Leonard Wood in Missouri. Then I moved for basic. Then I went to California. I was going to take linguistics. I was going to learn Russian. And I
Right.
planned on being a Russian spy.
Oh my God, that would have been so great.
Right?
You could have had a job right now.
Right?
Yeah.
He looks like a Russian.
Thank you.
Are you Russian?
Maybe I am.
Ukrainian?
I honestly, I don't know what I am. My dad thinks that he tells us, but he's so convoluted, I don't know. He's like,
Well, you got to do 23andMe. I did 23andMe.
I'm going to do that. I'm into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
It's
you're one
really
of the
cool.
originals.
I am. I got
Yeah.
a little Neanderthal in me, you fucking
so
assholes. All right, wait. So, were you scared to join the Army?
No.
And you didn't know anyone?
No, I
Say,
didn't.
what is your older brother doing? He's like, oh.
He
all
was
right.
probably in college.
Okay. So, you get the haircut, you get the uniform. Like,
Yeah.
what was basic training like?
Well, you know what? I do remember getting my head. I have a widow's peak, and I didn't
Yeah.
know until they shaved my head, and I know there are tears in my eyes. And I didn't care about war, but I'm like, I didn't know I was balding. That's sad.
Oh. So,
And then I'm in California taking this language, and they found out that I signed up for only 2 years, and to have that job, you have to sign up for at least 4 years.
Right.
And I said no, thank you. So then they moved me to infantry for the final year.
right.
And I mean, thank God we have these heroes, but these guys are just animals. I mean,
Really?
if they're not being trained, they fight each other for fun.
Well, yeah.
They go,
No way.
Yeah, hey Malley, how you doing? I'm doing okay. Boom! Next thing you know, I'm in a pretzel. It's like,
Right.
"Ah, gotcha. It's like, I know, but they'll be enemies. Let's be on the
Yeah.
same team right
Yeah,
now.
right.
It's like, gotcha. I punched you in the face. We're pals. They're animals. They love to fight.
Oh my God, Henry should be in the Army.
Totally.
He fucking
Yeah.
loves getting in fights.
He would love it.
Wait, so
Scrappy Doo.
and you lived like shut up.
Oh.
So you
I'll tell
lived
them.
on like in the barracks and everything?
Yeah.
Did you befriend anyone?
Yeah, definitely in California, and then in the infantry, maybe there's a guy I liked enough, but
So 2 years.
2 years, and then that was enough.
And
for
then
me.
what'd you do?
And it wasn't wartime, to be clear.
Do you have any pictures of you in uniform?
Yeah, it's
Are they
ridiculous.
hot?
No, they're not hot.
Oh, come on.
They're
That's
like
hot.
therapy.
Were
Were
No.
you
bet
like
they
in
are.
really good shape?
I was in good shape. Yeah, I think after the first year I was in good shape. Now you know what? After basic training, I was in good shape. You think you can't do this stuff, but
Right.
somebody yells you into doing it.
Were
and
there
you're really
any
scared of
women?
them, you'll do it. Yeah, we were the first basic training to have women also,
And
I do believe they pulled saltpeter in your food. Looking back, I didn't jerk off. That wasn't hard.
wow.
I think there's shit in that food those first 3 months.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So you-
yeah, I'm sure, to keep you focused and wrestling each other.
But like
So- but
afterwards, yes. You
was
know,
there any gay shit going on in the barracks?
No.
How do you know?
Well, not for those first 3 months
Did you
for
want
sure,
to
but afterwards
Did you
there's
want to
sex.
fuck any of the women?
Yeah, one I was really attracted to. Yeah.
And
And then basic training was over, and that was it. Also, I was a pussy talking to women. I didn't know how to talk to women, so yeah.
well, I'm sure your father really taught you well. Okay, so you quit the Army, or you
Yes.
finished your
Yeah.
2 years, and then what?
Then back to Somerset for a little bit,
But are you living with your parents?
for a minute, and
Okay.
for a couple months maybe. That was the dumbest thing.
Right, of course.
Never ever do that
Right.
to anybody for any reason.
Right.
Be homeless.
Right.
Don't move in with Keith's parents.
Yeah.
Right. Your parents, sure.
Once you leave,
That's it.
Yeah, you
and they
can't go
know
back.
that, and my dad anyway
Right.
knows that power.
Right.
You know, like even now he'll say you can tell that when you mention the callback, it's like nobody's gonna remember anyway. My dad doesn't know what I do for a living, but every time I will tell him, "Oh, the podcast is successful. And I do a stand-up show once a year, and we just wrote another book." Oh, and he's very impressed. And then next time I see him, like, how are things in New York? The podcast is going good. This and that.
Right.
Oh, really? You know, everything's
like,
always a
yeah,
surprise.
like-
Right. So if
he
I don't
just right.
tell him in a while, then he'll like,
How old is
do
he?
you want to come?
Wait, go ahead.
70.
Okay, go ahead. Do you want to?
He'll say, do you want to come back and stay in the house?
And you're like, go fuck
And
yourself.
I'm like, no, thanks. I like the city. You know, I don't want to live in a place where how you doing is really a question. That's weird to me.
Right.
I go there, I get reverse claustrophobia on the
Right,
swing
of
set.
course.
Why aren't people in my way? And he goes, okay, but you are welcome to, like, he misses me. That's weird. And he's like, you are welcome to come here. But if you are going to come here, there are some rules.
Right.
And you will follow my rules. And I'm like, who asked?
Right.
And then he goes into, I better have a better attitude.
Does he work now?
Supposedly selling insurance. And I think
Right.
he gets that one lucky break that keeps the family going every so often.
And then, how about your mom?
She is not working now.
And
but she does go back and forth.
are there any kids in that house?
No.
I can't believe it.
Stay tuned for part 2.
Keith, thank you so much for
pleasure.
doing a part 2.
Part 1.
Oh, part 1.
Yeah.
Thanks for.
That whole thing's fake, you know.
I know.
We did this all at once.
Yeah, right. Thank you for coming back in here.
Absolutely.
Thank you for agreeing to come back to do a part 2 because we have to go right now.
Wouldn't it be something if I was late for part 2?
That's hilarious. All right. Well, thank you all. Check out Keith on KTAG.
KATG.com. Get tickets to his upcoming show on April 15th, his annual show. It's the 14th
of
one.
April.
See his past 13 annual stand-up shows at KATG.com.
Okay, great.
Check out the live show.
2
and
books.
Follow Keith and the Girl and at Keith Malley.
Yeah.
And
Malley.
he also has
Malley.
3 books, actually. The Ultimate Podcasting Guide, if you would like to create your own podcast, start that since it's so easy. They walk you through it. Keith and the
Okay,
Girl.
just fucking hurry
also,
up.
what do we do now? Smart answers to your stupid relationship questions, and his autobiography, which is only a bit of what we spoke about today, called The Great American Novel. Also find all of these at KATG.com.
That's great. Thank you all for listening. I'm Judy Gold.
.com.
And as we say, so long!
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.